I'm Harley Meyer, president of Harley Meyer and Company here in Moncton, and also co-chairman on the board of directors of Harvest House Shelter and Recovery. The city of Moncton has seen a real resurgence of economic activity and optimism. Moncton is a growing city with a population that's been booming. We've been attracting a lot of new business into the area, specifically retail. Moncton is the retail capital of the Atlantic area. There's a lot of people coming in from different parts of this country to enjoy the economic growth and boom here in Moncton. Housing starts are up, employment figures are up. There's a sense of optimism in this city, a sense that we're going somewhere. We also have a number of people coming to this city who are less privileged, who are homeless, who don't have the backgrounds and the opportunities that some of us have had, as well as being victims to a number of, what should I say, addictive behaviors, and due to their own choices at times, and also prostitution, mental illness. And these people haven't found a place in our city where they can really belong until Harvest House has come along. This has been an issue in all of our major metropolitan areas in Canada, and we're seeing more of this now than ever before in Moncton. Harvest House is a shelter and a refuge for people who are living on the street. And I want to introduce you to a success story from this ministry. And here's Robin.
This house over here on the corner, I've known of it for the last 2 years. As you can see, it's all boarded up now. A crackhead fell asleep with a candle because there was no power. The power had long been shut off, but that was a well-known place for everybody to flop and party, and some of the rooms didn't even have bathrooms, but people lived there, and a lot of prostitutes came and go from there. Pretty easy spot. All you'd have to do is walk out the door and get picked up by one of the several men that roam the streets here looking for girls on drugs that will satisfy them for cheap. I kind of took to that place myself because I was getting on the end of my party days before I came clean, that it was close to the Harvest House, and what I would do is I would spend most of my time here and then sneak over there and get high, but I'd stand there, I'd look out the window and I could see the Harvest House, and it was just, I knew I was coming to an end, and
well, I guess my drug problems began very early. My addiction is what ultimately led me here and led me down a really nasty road. I had a baby when I was 15 years old, and at that time my home life was just not something anybody would want to be living in, and numerous different problems going on, and I was too young. before I got pregnant, I was at the point where I just couldn't handle it at home anymore, and I was starting to do drugs, and I found every time that I got high, it led me off in, well, it would end up, you know, a couple days I'd be spending and just having a really good time, and like that so much more than going home to what I had to face at home. And then I got pregnant, and immediately my mother, she planned out my whole life for me at that point. I was to live with her and keep going to school, and she had gotten Children's Aid involved, and it came to the point where I had several rules I had to follow, and was constantly monitored by social service, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And well, the ultimatum was I follow all these rules and continue with everything they wanted me to do, or they were taking my child away from me. And as much as I didn't want to see that happen, I could not live at home. And so I ran off, and I tried to take the baby with me, but I was too young to live on my own, and nobody at all would support that idea, and I just couldn't live at home. So ultimately I ended up losing my child, and that led me down a road. I was distraught beyond words, and I at that time drove headfirst into well, I was going to say the bottle, but it was many, many, many bottles, and that led to a lot of, well, at my age, you know, I can't get into bars, I can't go into the liquor store. I was only 15 years old, going on 16, and so a lot of the places where I'd find booze and whatnot would not be, well, they wouldn't be a place where you'd want your child to be, that's for sure. And you know, of course, you know, the kind of people that would give liquor to a child, well, I don't have to explain to you what kind of people they are. And
I just want to show you one of my spots up here where oftentimes I go to do drugs or to get away, or sometimes even sleep. This is the kind of spots I'd look for when we're on the street and nowhere to go. It's actually private property, but if it looks good and nobody picks you out in 5 or 10 minutes, then you're pretty much safe to go. We even have a sign on the door, no trespassing. As you can see, it's just a space between the two buildings, but it provides a little bit of shelter, and it's a great place to hide. Oftentimes I would sleep there, or lots of memories of this little spot.